Hello everyone, welcome back again to Autocad channel with Autocad 3D modeling basic tutorial how to create a 3D backyard sheet. Okay, open your Autocad software and first I will change into lab view. Next you can press F7 to hide the grid. Okay, I will create line, start from this point to the bottom here, 264. Move to the left 230. Okay, move to the top 310, and next you can press a C button to close this line comment. Okay, I will use join command. You can tap join, select all these objects and enter. Okay, these objects are already joined. Next you can use orbit. And then I will use extrude command to extrude this to this cat with the height of extrusion 500. Enter. I will change into set with edge. Okay. Next you can use seal command. You can tap solid edit command. Use body option and click seal. Okay, for object you can select this object. Next you need to remove face. Okay, I will select this face and then select this face. Enter. Now you can set seal offset distance about 15 and enter. Enter again to finish this solid edit command. Okay, we already sealed these 3D models. I will use a rectangle object. You can tap rectangle. Okay, select at this point. Sorry, I will active object snap. You can tap DS, and I will active all object snap. Okay. Now I will use a rectangle object to create a rectangle from this point, okay, into this point. Use extrude command to extrude the last object. Okay, I will extrude to the top here, about 39, and enter. Use union command to combine these two objects. Change into left view. You can click here and change into left view. I will create the line object. Start from this point to the right here 75. Move to the top here 13. To the left 25. To the top 13. Okay. To the left here 25. To the top 13. Okay, and you can click at this point, press C button to close this line command. Okay, use join command again to combine these all objects. Next, you can use extrude command to extrude these objects with the height of extrusion 100. Okay. And then I will change into 2D wireframe. You can move this object, start from this point. Okay, move into this point, and then I will move again this object into this direction, 85 and enter. Okay, create this simple 3D models. And next you can change into front view. Okay, I will create a rectangle object. Start from this point with dimension. Okay, for length 100, and then for width 161, and enter. Click at this point. Use copy command to copy this object. Start from this point into this point. And then I will use offset command. You can tap offset, enter. With offset distance 5. Okay, click this object and click inside it. Enter. Use move command to move this rectangle object, start from this point into this point. Okay, and then I will use extrude command to extrude this object to this point. Next, you can use subtract command to subtract this object with this object. Okay, now I will use extrude command to extrude this object with the head of extrusion 10, and then I will use subtract command to subtract this object with this object. Change into front view. Okay, and I will use a slash command. You can type the slash and select this object. Please slash from this point to the bottom, and slash again in here from this point to the bottom, and slash this object from this point to this point. Okay, you can select edit and delete. Next, use a union command to combine again these three objects. Okay, I will use move command to move this object, start from this middle point into middle point in here. Okay, change again into front view, and I will create a rectangle object, start from this point with dimension 80 and 80. Okay, copy again this rectangle object to the right, and then use offset command with offset distance 5, and click this object, click inside it. Okay, use line command. Okay, I will create line, start from this point into this point, and next you can move this object from this point into middle point in here. Okay, we move this object to the right here, 18, and then I will use a mirror command to mirror this object, start from middle point to the top and enter. Okay, you can delete this line object. Next, I will use extrude command to extrude this object into this direction, and you can use a subtract command to subtract this object with these objects. Okay, use extrude command. We extrude this object with head of extrusion 10. Next, you can use a subtract command to subtract this object with these objects. Okay, move this object from middle point into middle point in here, and then you can copy this object, start from this point into this point. Okay, next I will change into back view. You can click here back, and we create a rectangle object. Okay, start from this point with dimension for length for rectangles 360, and for width 40. Click at this point, and you can offset with offset distance 5. Click this object and click inside it. Okay, I will use extrude command to extrude this two rectangle object with head of extrusion 10, and you can use subtract command to subtract this object with these objects. Next, I will create rectangle again. Okay, you can type a rectangle. Okay, we create start from this point into this point, and you can move the last object from a middle point in here, and you can move into middle point at this point. Okay, next move the last object to the top here, 160, I will use extrude command to extrude this object into this direction. Okay, and you can use a subtract command to subtract this object with these objects. Okay, you can change into realistic view, or you can choose saturate edge. Okay, now I will use move command to move this object from a middle point in here into middle point at this point. Okay, I will change into left view. Sorry, we change into front view, and then I will create a circle in here with radius 5. Okay, we create line object start from this point into this point, and then you can move this object to the top here. Okay, I will use trim command to cut this circle object and delete this line object. Use mirror command to mirror this object start from this point to this point, and then move this object from this point into this point. Okay, I will change into 2D wireframe, and then you can move this object. Okay, I will move from this point into this point, and we use array command. You can select this object. Okay, you choose rectangular option, and then I will change the rows into 1. Okay, for spacing you can tap S, enter. I will click at this point into this point. Okay, and then you can click this mark and move to the left. Okay, next use exclude command to exclude these objects, and you can delete these objects. Okay, I will use join command. Okay, to join these all objects, enter, and then you can use offset command with offset distance 4. Okay, I will click at this point to the top. Okay, sorry, I will use offset distance 2. So distance 2, click at this point to the top here, and then you can create line start from this point into this point, and we create a line again start from this point to this point. Okay, use join command to combine these all objects. Okay, enter. These objects are already combined. Next, I will change into left view. You can click here left view, and then I will use UGS command to change the UGS. Okay, click at this point into this point and move to this point. I will move this object into this point. Okay, and then you can copy this object from this point into this point. Okay, you can use loop command to convert this to sketch into 3D models. You can tap a loop, enter, select this object, and then select these objects. Okay, enter again to close this loop command. You can change into realistic view to view these 3D models. Okay, we already create this simple backyard sheet, and I will change into 2D wireframe, change into top view. We create a plane shoot. Okay, I will create a plane shoot. Start from this point into this point, and I will create polyline command. You can tap line. Okay, we create a plane like this model. Okay, And next you can use imprint command. You can tap imprint. Okay, select this 3D objects, this plan surf, and then select imprint object. I will click at this polyline command objects. You can press enter to apply. Okay, we already imprint this object into this models. Okay, we imprint it. Next, I will change into top view, and we grab the camera, start from this point into this point. Next, you can change into left view. Okay, move these objects to the top. Okay, into this point, and I will change into camera 1 view. Okay, and change again into set with edge. Okay, next I will apply material into this object. You can tap Rmat to open material browser. I will create a duplicate from this global material. Okay, I will give name here about wall. Okay, double click, and I will choose image. Okay, we choose this image one. You can select this object. Okay, next I will right click and assign to selection. Okay, I will active material and texture. Next, I will select again this object, right click, assign to selection. I will use box mapping. You can click here and click box. Okay, and next I will right click and choose rotate option. We rotate in right axis. Okay, I will rotate into this point. Next, you also can edit width or height for this material. Okay, I will edit to the top here, and then I will from this point to here. Next, from this point to this point. Okay, you can close. For these objects, I will create again duplicate from global material. Next, I will change color. Okay, into this color. I will change this name into frame. Okay, frame, and you can select this object, right click, and then hide the objects. I will select these objects, and you can right click in the frame material and send to selection. Okay, you can right click and then an object isolation. Next, I will create a new material for a ground. Okay, I will change name into ground. Select this object and click image. I will choose this texture image. Okay, I will apply into this face. Right click, assign to selection. Okay, now for a grass, I will right click and duplicate. Change name into grass. Okay, for image, I will choose this image texture, and then I will change into front view. Change again into 2D wireframe. Okay, in here I will create the plan surf object. You can tap plan surf. Okay, from this point into this point. Next, I will change into set with edge. You can select this plan surf. Right click, assign to selection. Okay, and next you can use blender mapping in these objects. Okay, sorry, I will active material and texture. Okay, you can see, and you can use blender mapping to mapping these objects. Okay, next I will use a QChat material. You can checklist in here, and then choose this image. Okay, we create QChat, open. Okay, you can change tint color in here into this color. Okay, close, and then close. Change into camera 1 view. Okay, and change into realistic view to view these objects. Okay, we create this simple crest. I will duplicate this crest. Okay, I will change into the view frame and change into top view. You can move this object plane slope into this point, and then you can use a rotate command to rotate this object from a middle point into this point. Next, you can use move command. Okay, to move these objects to the bottom here. Okay, I will change into realistic view to view this object. Okay, is enough. And then I will use a copy command to copy this object. Okay, we copy into this point. Okay, we copy again this objects. Sorry. Copy these objects. Okay. What again in here for pencil. Okay, I will correct in here. Okay, next you can change into camera 1 view and change into separate edge. Okay, I will active material and texture. Okay, you can change again into realistic view. Okay, we create these models. I will move this plane slope into this point. Okay, we move again this object at the top here. Next, for door in here, okay, I will create rectangle object. You can tap rectangle. Okay, I will create from this point into this point, and then you can extrude the last object to this point. Okay, we use material again. You can click duplicate in global and give name door. Next, I will choose image. I will use this image. Okay, I will apply into this face. Right click in this material and stamp selection. Okay, we select again this face and use blender mapping. I will move into this point. Okay, we move again to this point. Okay, next we try to rendering these 3D models. You can use full shadow, and I will use high render. You can active environment and choose background. Okay, I will use a solid with white color. Okay, close, and we try to rendering this 3D model. Okay, we're waiting for rendering until finish into time lapse. Okay, we finished rendering process, and enough today for AutoCAD basic 3D modeling tutorial how to create a backyard sheet. If you have any question about this tutorial, you can comment below this video, and see you next time in another AutoCAD 3D modeling basic tutorial.